Okay.
Alrighty.
So should I start?
Yeah, just turn around, smile, wave.
There we go.
Alrighty.
All right. And now let's make sure we've got Connie back. Hold on. There.
Alright, thank you for coming to my presentation on Recognize, Develop, and Protect. This company, 3M, was founded in 1948, and they had a really unique idea. They called it 15% time. And what they did was they allowed each of the employees to take 15% of their paid work time to work on any project that they wanted. From this came Post-it notes, which were the top 5 office products of 1990. And I don't know anybody that doesn't love Post-it notes. And then Google did the same thing, only they took it up a notch because they're Google, and they call it 20% time. So effectively, 1 day out of 5, their employees are able to work on anything that they want. And from that came Gmail and Google Maps, and then a whole bunch of other Google programs that I don't even use. So the neat thing about this was that they didn't limit this free time to just research and development scientist kind of people. They let all their employees do this because they never knew where the next great idea was going to come from. And so my question to you is, what if the next great idea comes from you? What if you had some extra discretionary time to work on anything you wanted? What is your passion? Where do you even begin? So I want to help you to recognize, develop, and then I'm going to give you the secret for protecting that talent or that passion that you want to develop. Okay? So, first off, recognize. How do you know what you love? First of all, think about what excites you. For me, I like to be challenged, and I like to not take myself too seriously. So races like the Tough Mudder go right in line because it's just mud and dirt, but it's still really challenging. And so I've done 2 Tough Mudders and 1 Spartan Super. And so, show of hands. Next time there's a big obstacle mud course race coming up, who's coming with me? I don't see all the hands going up, right? Okay. But then think about what terrifies you. So, if somebody were to ask me to get on stage and sing and dance in front of a couple hundred people, no, thank you. That has no appeal to me at all. But my daughter, Tressa, there in the green, is fabulous at it. She loves it. She even told me over Christmas that she has no concept of what stage fright means. She doesn't understand when the other students in her class have stage fright. That is mind-boggling. So think about what excites you, what terrifies you, and then lean towards the things that you like. And then what compliments do you get? My son spent years and years on Minecraft. We gave him lots of compliments. Now he's developing that into a career in architecture. That's what he's hoping to be when he grows up. And for me, I got a lot of compliments on being organized. And I turned those into not only closets, but organizing camps. And 2 summers ago, I hiked 18 people up to the top of Pikes Peak, and it was their first time. So that was pretty cool. And that's the most majorly organized thing I've ever done. That was massive. So, and then what comes easy? You know, when that sign-up sheet comes around and they need volunteers, do you lean towards the decorations or towards the food or towards traffic control? Like, I don't want to direct traffic at all. I would much rather be in charge of something than tell a car where to go. And that's just me. So you think about what it is that you like. So I'm going to take a minute, I'm going to load this, and I want you to think about what passions that you have. What's the next thing you want to develop? And then I'm going to have you shout it out. All right, so what comes to mind? What do you want to develop? Let me hear it.
Baking cookies.
Baking cookies. What else?
certifications.
Cool.
I love learning, so education.
Education.
Say money management.
Money management. Ah.
Music.
Music. Good, good. Cool. Yeah, there's so much. I threw in that tomato there because I cannot garden at all. I'll spend like $25 on tomato plants and come up with maybe 2 tomatoes at the end of the season. But eventually, I will master that. All right. So once you choose what you want to develop, what passion you have, I'm going to tell you how to develop it, and I'm going to explain what I did for one of my passions, and then you just plug in what you, some of the ideas into what you want to do. Alrighty. So when I got my first bicycle in 2008, I fell in love with the supported week-long bike rides. And what they are is you camp at night, you wake up in the morning, you roll up your tent, you put it on a truck, and then you just bike where they tell you to. You do it every day for about a week. They provide aid stations that have food and water and bathrooms, and you just get to relax and enjoy it. And I love it because it combines 4 of the things I love to do the most. Ride my bike, camp, eat, and be on vacation. And so when I found out that I was moving to Colorado, everybody told me I had to do Ride the Rockies. Ride the Rockies takes this thing up to the max because it has huge mountains that you go up and fantastic vistas and wonderful downhills, and the scenery is outstanding, and so I had to do it. And the cool thing about these rides is they take me higher than I would go on my own, and they take me out longer than I would go just on my own. So they push my limits. I love it. All right, so when I got to Colorado, I registered for Ride the Rockies in 2009. The route was 380 miles over 6 days, and it beat me up. The last day, I could not even sit on my bike. Hurt so bad. And so we were lucky. It was a 40-mile downhill coast that I was able to stand up for all the way, and I got home and I parked the bike and I thought, I don't know. And I was tempted to throw the bike over the cliff and be done. But I didn't want it to win. And so I decided I would do it again. And so I registered, and then I spent a year getting strong. I joined a group that took me outside with group rides and helped me learn how to handle traffic and be confident. I took a lot of spin classes. I got really strong. I logged a lot of miles. And then I went on Ride the Rockies in 2010, and it was 543 miles over 7 days. And I will tell you, did you notice they added 160 miles and another day of riding, and it beat me up. And it was really tough, and I was completely wiped by the end of that. And I decided, I'm going to do it again. I am going to beat this. And so my strategy was now to get educated. And so I talked to people, I read blogs, I read books, I learned about nutrition, I learned about recovery, I learned about saddle sores, what they are, what causes them, how to prevent them. I did everything I could to walk in and be successful. And I registered for Ride the Rockies in 2012. And it was 442 miles over 6 days. And on the final day, I was in such a good mood because I had beat it. And I knew that if they threw another day at me or they threw 80 more miles at me, I could do it. And that was really cool because, so the things that we do, whether we are baking a cake or planting a garden or riding a bike, we might have some bad times in there. You know, I might bonk, but that doesn't mean that it's a deal breaker that I need to quit. It just is input for what to do differently and how to problem solve and how to make it better. So you can take your passions and you can work on them and figure them out and get better at them. In fact, that 3M, they were trying to develop a strong adhesive. and it wasn't very strong, and it was actually weak enough that you could reposition it a lot, and they made it into a huge success. All right, so now that you're developing your talents, I'm going to give you the secret of how to protect that passion. And this is it. Don't compare. Okay? Comparing takes all the fun out of everything. And when I ride my bike, I pass people, people pass me. I don't know their backstory. I have no business judging and thinking, oh, I'm so much better, because I could be passing some really epic guy that has a stomach bug that day. Or I could be getting passed by someone that got a ride for the first 50 miles, and I've already put in half a day's work. So don't compare. Remember that we are different. We have different talents and interests, and it's not good to be a wrench trying to pound in a nail and looking at Mr. Hammer thinking, I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to be as good as my friend. Because you're not going to be, because you're a wrench and you're not a hammer. You just need to be yourself. And remember, you have every right to be exploring that passion and doing that thing, even if you're not the best. I have every right to be out there on the road. I have every right to be buying tomato plants that are going to die. You have the right to explore your passion. So in conclusion, I want you to recognize something that you want to develop, and then develop it. You've got all the tools that you need out there. Between the internet and the people and the friends and the library, you can develop those talents and then protect them, keep them special, by making them your own. Take some time. Go out and get some time, and with that time, you gotta do something. And why are you waiting? Start now. Thank you.